Welcome back to a little update video. We will talk today, what did AMC yesterday? We look at KOSS. We'll make a little update on Open Door because of earnings. We will take a look at BYND. We will update SPY and nasdaq. And at the end, we will do a little community vision. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal Method. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video. Okay, well, then let's start with AMC. So, was a pretty good run yesterday. And I got a lot of questions. Was this a button? Do we have confirmation? And so on. And you can ask me whatever you want. I will just say, most of the time, you will get the same answer from me. Yeah? We don't have confirmation yet. We just don't. And I try, and I hope I am, not to be like all or many other people who are, look, 6% up, it's next week, go, 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 go. Or just to say that so I get more views. I don't care about the views. I try to just show my tracking, and I have no confirmation. Only a one-day candle 6% up is not a confirmation for me. Just say. Yeah? You can ask me. I will always answer it with my absolute clear opinion, without bullshit, without to try to hold you or something like that. No. If you ask me something, I will give my opinion. Doesn't matter if it's bullish or bearish. It doesn't matter if all people like it, or if people say, oh, this guy is too bearish, I leave him. I don't care. I will always say my true opinion. For AMC, it looks good. No confirmation yet, but right now it looks good. What I mean with that. We start with, it looks like tracking. And I already posted that yesterday with these two images. Left side, 1 hour today. Right side, 1 hour, January 2021. I made 2 posts yesterday. The first post was that I compared this candle already to this candle. Problem is, I really was way too zoomed in for this. Yeah, I'm really the opinion this candle here is in the best case something like here. Yeah, just saying, it doesn't make otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So this whole candle, yeah, should be around 122. Yeah. So for it just looks like it, we fell, we make our button. It's not a double button. I said in the last video, it is easily possible that we are right now in this thing, and it will take a week. Well, with the move yesterday, it just took 1 day, but still working. Yeah? In that case, we would be right now in this candle. So in the best case, this week, you go up to 121, 122, yeah? But you're not breaking over 122 because you're not breaking this lower high. Same here. You didn't broke the lower high here, and after that you fall back. For the fallback, we will come for the micro tracking in a second, but your target for the fallback would be again 98 to 95 cents. Then you start your run to your A. We will come to that in a second. For the normal micro tracking, we beat on Friday, if this was the bottom, and now we went up to our A. In that case, we didn't do a higher low here, a micro higher low. We just went over to our little a because we are over our T. So it would be very weird if this was just higher low, yeah? Because we broke A. And then we pulled back. And also, which is really bullish till now. Yeah? Let's see what happens today. We made a breakout retest. a perfect one. And even if you look at with the fibs, we bounced between the 0.5 and very close to the 618 fib. What A is normally doing. So what would happen next? Well, in the best case, if we're really doing this, we will now do B and then C. C would be our peak of the higher low, this higher low. Back then, you didn't saw, in 2021, didn't saw A, B, C, because it was way quicker. And as I always saying, Fractal is getting bigger and slower. You just saw one candle. This time, I think we see every single step, because we saw now A and A pullback. So I think we will now, if we're doing that, we can now up to our B and we will do the B pullback. Means our B is something over 113, 115. Then you do a 0.5 pullback back to 1.6, and then you go up to your C. And again, the C is not going over 122 if we're doing one-to-one what we did here. If you look back, the pullback in 2021 wasn't a 786. In that case, it was just a V under A. So whenever we get this and do the pullback, if this is A, we already have our target. In that case, here is our A bottom, 98 cents. Means something in this range. As I said, 98 to 95 cents would be our pullback target. Then we finished this higher low. After that, we would start to go up to our A, the A before the squeeze. Right now, how would that look like? I already said in the last videos, or in general in every video, I think that this A here will be that we are hitting our head on the 200 AMA, wherever it is then. Yeah. If it's 170, we will reject 170. If it's 150, we will reject 150. Yeah. I still think that we will reject here the 200 EMA, wherever it is. Then we're doing a 0.5 or 0.618. In 2021, it was a 0.5, yeah? But the 0.618 could also be possible. Some from the low to the peak of A. And then we are ready to squeeze. That would be the absolute bullish, perfect tracking idea. If we break down, your last chance is that we, whatever reason is, we are doing a higher low. Wouldn't like it, but last chance. In that case, you're not allowed to touch or break 93 cents, as always, because otherwise it's a double bottom. If you break downside, your next target, as shown in the last videos, is 90 cents for the next bottom or 86 cents. It looks good. I have to give you that, but still, in my opinion, there is no rush. Yeah, no financial advice, only my opinion. In the quickest way, we need to finish this and then squeeze. That would mean we're just doing higher low and squeeze then. Or we need this and this. Yeah. One last thing, as I'm always saying, if we're not doing the higher low, if we break 122, yeah, and breaking, especially if we're breaking over 125, I still don't think we squeeze. Then we just jumping this landmark and go straight to A. I still would think we need then the 0.5, 0.6 pullback. That's why, for me personally, and you can have an absolutely other opinion, and I could be wrong, just saying that, I could be wrong. We are not squeezing from the V. We need higher low and A, or only higher low, or only A. But in my opinion, before you squeeze, you get a pullback. And it's not this little pullback. Just saying that, okay? But it looks good. First time in weeks and months where you can get a little bit of hopium. Just a little. Okay. Next one is KOSS. So for KOSS, we are not doing a big update video today, but just a small one. The main problem KOSS did yesterday, it broke its higher low. The thing is, KOSS is proven synced with AMC and GME. All the big squeezes, KOSS, AMC, and GME did together. And KOSS has quite the same tracking like GME. It did a big squeeze in 2021, pulled back till 2024, and is now doing its micro high low to whatever happened in 2021. Main problem with KOSS right now is this version here. Old tracking was that here is our T, here was our V, and this whole thing was higher low. Same as FFAI, for example, same as DGT, and same as BYND. Yesterday, we broke it. So this is not higher low anymore. And that's a problem. Two things. There's still, forget the cursors, the errors. There's still an absolute bullish way to track this. For this would mean you will now do a V, a knife, wherever it is. As long as you stay over 227, everything is okay. And as BYND, as DGT, as FFAI, you're not just bouncing $1 under it. Yeah, a breaking of T means you will go lower, in my opinion. Then we're doing higher low and go. Yeah. So knifing now till end of April. For KOSS, I would say mid-April because it's moving quite slow and we still need to do a higher low. If you want to see anything in May, the V should be quite soon because we still have to do the higher low and then squeeze. But the main problem why I'm showing this is because I think KOSS front-run GME right now. Because it's so similar to GME, I think this was, I could be wrong, the confirmation that GME has to go 17, 15, 13. But it has to go lower. Yeah? Same as KOSS. That would still be the bullish version. Because for this is still a good chance we see something May, June. Now, before we go into the errors, one bearish alternative. And the main problem with this is, you see this big T, but only this small M. Yeah, that's a problem. Why? Because there's a big possibility that this is just M. What does that mean? Well, we make now a low. We will come up again. This would be then our T. This would be May. I tell you this. If you're doing this, this is May. May, you're not breaking for this trend line, not 456. And then you go even lower. Then higher low, and then go. If you're not even breaking this, that would be May 2024. That would be really bad. But even if you're doing this, this is not this year. If this is M, this is not this year. And then comes the problem where we can discuss if KOSS is not squeezing this year, is it then still synced with AMC and GME? Because if there's still a sync for AMC and GME, GME won't squeeze this year either. And AMC won't squeeze this year either. You will get a little move in May, but your maximum move in May would be $6 to $12 maximum, even if it goes that high. And especially for AMC, the problem, I tell you, if we do that, first of all, it's not this year. Second, AMC most likely has to do a reverse split because we will come so low that they have to do it. If there's synchronization still, but I mean, now suddenly to say KOSS is out of the sync is quite meh, you know, only because you don't like it. You can't just say it's not happening anymore. That would be a problem. That would be the bearish version. Yeah, not saying it has to happen, but if you see in May a rejection of 480-ish for KOSS, and a rejection between $6 and $13 for AMC, no financial advice, run. Just saying. For a bullish alternative, which is still, for me, looking quite perfect. If we just compare this to 2011 to 2020, we start here with our M. You come up to our M, down, you're going sideways. It's the same here. You come up to your M, down, and going sideways. So even with the blanket eye, you can compare these two perfectly. You drop down to your green arrow, you come up, you get a massive peak candle before you do your T at the blue arrow, before you do your T at the blue arrow. And after that, you knife to your V. And after that, you knife to your V. And also, if you compare this, you have here peak, and right now, this little section here would be this little section here, and then you break under the last low. You break under the last low. So in my opinion, you're right here right now, and you still need this drop here. Yeah. So we still need the drop, and then we go up. Next question, I already know. Okay, if this is true, do we need all this? And I would say yes. And that's why I say we should get this knife for KOSS very quick, because we still need to do this. But because the next question will be, okay, fuck, this thing took nearly a year. Right. But if you compare these two, you have here this whole thing took you from 2011 to 2021. So 9 years. Yeah. This thing only took you from 2024 to 2026. So this time, this thing is way quicker. We also have way more volume. Yeah? Here you nearly see only little dots because of lack of volume. Now we have more volume, so it is speeding up. So this doesn't have to be a full year. This could easily be done with volume in 1-2 months, April, May. So we just have to see. Thing is, I just wanted to show that this break yesterday for KOSS is bad. Yeah, it's not very bad. AMC is still tracking good. GME is also still tracking good. But I wouldn't say with this break, I wouldn't say anymore it's a 100% run this year. I still think we get a run, but if it's their run, we have to see. Yeah? We need confirmation. Okay, next one is Open. Just a tiny update on Open, because I saw that in the comments yesterday. For the summary, very quick, first Fractal is finished. We already did our A and the B. B pullback should be finished now too. We're on the way for bullish tracking to our C. Target, breaking all-time highs or something in this red section, 13 to 36-ish. For the B pullback. B pullback for bullish tracking was finished on February 17, and since then we're doing higher low. I already said this higher low isn't finished, and we have to fall under the 786, so under 456, which we did yesterday with a nice knife. Because I read in the comments, yeah, we will knife and then moon. The thing is, you already saw it so many times. Now, DGT, FFAI, beyond, you don't are allowed to break under 427, yeah, or touch it. Yeah. Now it still works. It's still great. If you bounce here, you can, after months of tracking, you can start your upside. If you go down here and break this, that is not bullish for me. Yeah. Especially that's not something where I can say, okay, we knife down and then we moon. No. If we break down, okay, fine. We need one more lower low, but then we still need to do the higher low. Yeah. If that would be the bullish thing. Yeah. This will still take time. There is no knife down and moon for me. Yeah? It wasn't in for the A pullback in August. It was the same. Yeah? Knife down, higher low, and then we went. There is, for me personally, no, we knife down and moon. No. If you break or touch 427, that's bad. That's bearish. And especially, then we still again have to wait for the V. Yeah? And there is tracking that this is C. Just saying. And not thinking that yet, but just hold this level and go up, for fuck's sake. Yeah? Because if not, we can track a new higher low again and blah, 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 blah. That's not bullish. Yeah? So don't do it. Okay. So much for open. Next, beyond. So for earnings today, again, we make all possibilities what we could do today. For the full update, just watch the big update video I post at the end. And I say it now, I can't give you today any confirmation. I will show you every version we could do. Yeah? Of course, you can say now, okay, perfect. So you're saying it could go up or down. No, it could also go sideways, just say. But yes, we have absolutely no confirmation. I wouldn't play earnings. That's a personal thing. But yeah, I just can't do anything else for you today. We start with the absolute bearish version, with the absolute deadly version. That means we're doing the same like DGT, FFAI. This is an head and shoulders. We broke this higher low. We tracked this as higher low and we broke it. And I already said, normally, technically, your T is finished when you break where it started. But even if it's only 1 cent, but I said normally, I never saw that we not knife after that. Yeah? And we already started it. So the absolutely bullish hopium pill that we go up from here, I think is already dead. For the absolutely bearish version, this is our T. We have an head and shoulders. We measure this head and shoulders, means top to breaking point, and the same like DGT, this is our target. Something around 44 cents. Or even lower. Also this would break the all-time low, which would mean that this whole thing is not higher low since October. This whole thing is T. If we're doing that, first of all, we're coming into a territory of a reverse split. It's already voted for last year, so they can do whenever they want to. And the next problem is if we do this V, wherever we bouncing here, we still need after that the higher low. And I'm not talking about this little one. I mean, this would be the start of it. I'm talking about this big one. Yeah, means nothing over $4. And I tell you that this could at least take till end of the year. That would be the really shitty part. It's not only about the price. It's about that this macro higher low will take fucking time. Fucking time we are losing for the big moves. If we do that, our A and B and C won't come this year. Yeah? That would be the absolutely bearish version. Now to the two bullish versions. So, the most bullish version is this yesterday was our V. And means that most likely today and earnings, we do a higher low. And after that, we start with our uptrend. Do I lean to that? Yeah. My main problem is, I think in pre-market we are already upside. Did we? Yeah, 3% upside. Earnings is after hours today. If we start going up to this trend line during the market today, so something to 66 cents-ish, 5% up or so, till market is closing, I expect a knife on earnings. Yeah, running into earnings is normally not bullish for me. Yeah, and this little higher low is so fucking tiny, but could still be. Yeah, higher low, start to run up. Perfect. The second bullish variant I have is we knife on earnings. No, bullish. Yeah, but that means we knife on earnings. We are not breaking or touching 49 cents, 50 cents. If you do that quick, we just knife on earnings. And then we're doing a bigger higher low. Yeah. So knife on earnings, maybe till the rest of the week or next week also we're doing the higher low and then we go up. Yeah. I would see this for me personally as the most likely one. But as I said, we don't have any confirmation for that. I can just show you every variant. One last version. We're doing the same shit like GameStop. Sometimes we just do nothing. That would be the stupidest version. Yeah, because then we still have no confirmation. Yeah. But I mean, they delayed their earnings already 5 times. Yeah. I'm not saying that fundamentals matter, but the news and if the fractal is wanting downside, the reason for the delay, they will use that news. It dropped 10% because of that bullshit. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't give you any confirmation. Yeah, I can only show you what could happen. One last thing I really, really can't see is something like this. I just can't see it. Yeah. Especially even in October, we did some kind of higher lows. Yeah, even back then. So no, I wouldn't in my sweetest dream think that we're doing this on earnings. I just don't. I'm glad to be wrong. I just can't I just can't see. Okay, next SPY and nasdaq update. So for clarification, I said yesterday, or on the weekend already, that I see a bounce. And I gave price targets for this bounce. The only thing, I even rewatched my video yesterday. I forgot to show this trend line. And it was my mistake. Yeah? But in my head, I had this trend line and this was the first rejection point. But I didn't show it, so I was wrong. Pretty clear, if I'm not showing something, I was wrong. It doesn't matter if I thought it, I was wrong. But I was maybe only 1 day too early. What I mean, we got a pretty good bounce for SPY and nasdaq. Doesn't matter, but we rejected this trend line. It was pretty clear. For me personally, it was clear with this lower high yesterday that we will go down. Yeah, it was a rejection of this trend line. This was just small t. We had to do a new low. Same for SPY. Now the thing is, and my price target for nasdaq here was 553, for SPY 625. For NASDAQ, I was $2 away. That's pretty good. For SPY, 625 to 629 is not close. Yeah, so no, that's not close. So if we're not going down here, that was wrong too. The thing is, for the future tracking now, I still think there's a good chance we still have to get a bounce. Still the levels I showed yesterday. Still the levels for next, the NASDAQ at least 600, at least for SPY 650. Yeah. We again gapped up from yesterday already in pre-market and futures. There's just one thing. We are at this trend line again. And this time I show it, yeah, for sure. So there are two ways to do this today. First way, we are already here again. Yeah, here. This is this. We're already making a lower high again. Then I would expect at market open, we go down. SPY and NASDAQ, of course. And fill this gap. Here, in that case, there's still a chance this was our V for NASDAQ and the V for SPY. And we're just doing now higher low. For this, we are not allowed to touch or break. For NASDAQ, let's look. 550. For SPY, we are not allowed to touch or break 60.29.31. If you touch that and break it, same as yesterday, you will make new lows. Still, for the price target for NASDAQ, still 553. If this is not holding, 541. For SPY, still 625. If this is not holding, 612. If you break to the upside, why ever? If you go over 568 for NASDAQ and 641.60 for SPY, that's fucking bullish. Because if you break these levels, this is not higher low anymore. In that case, you're doing up, down. This would be your A, B, and then we are already in the bullish territory, which I showed in the last videos. So, yeah, let's see. Thing with SPY and NASDAQ tracking. You have to tell me if you still want me to do it. It is just a problem. This is not something where you can track it one day, give out a video, perfect. Yeah, because SPY and NASDAQ, of course, are moving. So the tracking, doesn't matter how good it is, had to be adjusted so many times. Yeah. I can only give you my ideas, so I think we should get a bounce, yeah, and then my levels. I can't do nothing more, and for sure I don't have the time. Don't want to show you that live, yeah, especially because it's a lot of stress for myself. Only one last thing, we are micro tracking a little bounce right now. It's just saying, yeah. Because all in all, it doesn't matter if SPY or NASDAQ, all in all, I'm bearish. Just saying that, to make that absolutely clear where I stand. For me, it's a very big chance that this top in January and October was a top. I could be wrong. But for me, this was a top. So the only thing I'm tracking now is one last bounce, which would be lower high for both of them. And then the big moves to the downside starts. For me, I'm tracking, I mean, market crash is a hard word, but a pullback in the market, and not a small one. I'm not tracking this is over, this pullback is over in a month or so. For me, I track this will be a 2 to 5 year bear market. Because what I mean with this, yeah, the lower high, wherever we do it, pullback, up, M, down, T, Yeah, I mean that. And this will take years. Yeah, that's my main tracking, and I could be wrong. Yeah, just so that you know where I stand. And right now we are tracking a mini reversal. Yeah. So, okay, good. And one last thing, a community wish. So Paladin. I have two versions for that. A bullish and a bearish one. I'm slightly tending to the bullish one I show, but there's not much to track here, and it's still a young company. But doesn't matter. So for the bullish tracking, peak, lower high, midpoint, T, V. Is it lower? No, sorry. V was here. Okay. So bullish tracking, we had our V in October 31st. Hello. Breakout. We went over A, over T. So this whole thing here is our A. We broke over M. So this whole thing is our B. The B pullback could be already finished, because if we're taking from our A low to our B peak, we bounce at a 0.5. We also did here a little higher low, and we went up. So for bullish tracking, for confirmation, I mean, I would say if you break 627, no, 72, 672, sorry. That's bullish, over $8, very bullish. Confirmation would be $11-ish. Next target is something for the bullish tracking, in my opinion, something here. I mean, if you break all-time highs, wherever it goes, if you're not breaking all-time highs, somewhere in this range, you would reject, in my opinion. Something between 55 to 70-ish, maybe. No financial advice. That would be the bullish case. Bearish case is, and that's the little problem here, then this was M. In that case, you will touch and break 460. You will go lower again. The M is only finished when it's breaking under all-time low, because there it started. Then you go up to a T again. You won't break this trend line. So nothing over 7. This would be your T, if you even go up here. Yeah, I mean, could also be that you do your T here. And then you have to go even lower. And I think in that case, this company is done. That would be the bearish alternative. Yeah. If you touch a break 411, that's already bad. Just saying. Upside levels, downside levels. I hope it helped. Okay. As always, explanation video for the method here. Playlist here. The big update video back there. If you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more, you can give me an hour. Let's see what the market is giving us today.